You did mention there were a lot of companies cutting back on hours, and that was the goal, to try to save money. And I agree with you. There are a lot of manufacturing plants, a lot of industrial plants that are cutting back to 4-day work weeks because it is an issue what their overhead is. We're open. Our doors are there 7 days a week. We have to just put an employee in. We still pay the rent. We still pay all the electricity. We still pay the bills to keep everything moving. Even the restaurant owners, they're open 7 days a week. They're there. It's an issue for us where we can increase sales. In a retail business, we could not close to 4 days a week. It wouldn't make sense because we need that door open for people to walk in and hopefully do business with us.
You know, some of their arguments were an extra day for alcohol sales may help our business. You know, their argument was the economy's down.
Right. And also fairness. They were talking about fairness. The South End allows sales on Sunday.
Right. And you know, and I will say this is my 2 cents worth here. We have been fair already. So that argument doesn't hold any water to me. There's already been 2 votes on this issue, and if they were interested in fairness, they should have spoke up in 1998, not in 2008.
Oh, that was 10 years ago.
And it was 10 years ago, yes. You know, my concern is, and I think, you know, for those of you who watch this show, my fairness issue in all of this is I believe on serious issues of large spending and culture changes and what we allow in our county, I really think it should go to the vote of the people.
Now, we also had some people mention the safety factor.
Well, you know, in all fairness, I really hadn't looked at that one. Now, we know the facts back it up that when this county went wet, there was a spike and some very tragic accidents that happened of 2 young ladies that was killed in Pace, and there's been several more. There has been a spike.
Commissioners Williamson and Commissioner Cole, both of whom are North End commissioners, voted against this. Commissioner Salter, the other North End commissioner, voted for it. Now, Commissioner Williamson had some business-related issues that he talked about, and Commissioner Cole actually quoted scripture. He had some religious reasons
Right.
why
Well,
he thought it shouldn't happen.
You know, here's the thing, and I want the viewers to know this is. I'll get on my little soapbox for a minute. And of course, Deborah and I are on. You know, you and I are on opposite opinions of this, but you represent responsible people who might want to drink. My concern is always the irresponsible people, and
there are plenty of those.
And there are plenty. And when we increased the availability of alcohol, there was an immediate spike in tragic accidents. My other problem with this is, well, we allowed sale in the South End. Well, let's go ahead and just some beer and stuff on Sunday. You know, come on, don't. You're stomping me with the Constitution. You know, it's a fairness issue. You need to let that happen. Well, you know, evil grows, and the next thing it's going to be, you know what? Out there on South Avalon Boulevard, it's kind of away from everybody. We just want one establishment in Santa Rosa County where we can have some female entertainment, and then that foothold is in, and then when you have the men's club, then you increase your drugs. It's proven. I don't need to spout stats for you.
It's a slippery slope. I'll agree with that.
You know, and then, you know, well, Nevada has legalized prostitution. Why don't we put that in? And you know, I'm personally, I've drawn my line in the sand. If I had my way about it, we'll have a county-wide vote again, and we'll go back to beer and wine, and call it a day. I believe that the responsible drinkers make enough trips to Escambia County or to Okaloosa County that they can gather up whatever they want. The spot-on sales is what is dangerous. If somebody has an opportunity to stop on Friday night and get soused, and you know, I read one comment on one of the newspapers' web pages that said, if drinking and driving is illegal, why do all bars have parking lots? It's not the responsible people that I'm talking about here, and everybody knows, they know irresponsible people. And the sad thing about it is, most people, the drunk always lives through
Right.
the automobile wreck.
Unfortunately.
The kids, the mother, the father, and the baby die
Right.
in it, and it's just, I just, it's a slippery slope. I don't want to go on it, and certainly that's my personal opinion. I do think that we have a precedent set here where we have voted on this issue, south end, north end, and if we're going to change it, it should come by the will of the people again.
Well, and now above and beyond that, we've talked a little bit about whether it's appropriate for religion to enter into a public policy discussion, but the person who has kind of been in the forefront of being against alcohol sales, this is the Reverend from the Hickory Hammock Baptist Church,
Carl Gallups.
Carl Gallups. He actually attended this Monday meeting, and his point was that it was not actually about religion. It's about the fact that the county commission promised
That they wouldn't change any
that
ordinance.
they wouldn't change the ordinance when they floated the original referendum to expand alcohol sales in Santa Rosa County, especially in the north end. And this is what he told them.
Right, and we want you to see that, so roll clip.
What we're experiencing today is exactly what we knew would happen when the county went wet, exactly what we said would happen, and exactly what 3 of you, and now 2 of you who have just come on, in one way or another, at various times and in various ways, have promised to the voters that you couldn't stop it from happening, but in various ways and various times you promised the voters that you would not amend or change the standing ordinances that we had concerning liquor sales and alcohol sales. And so I'm here today to ask you to please remember that promise. I've been before you several other times. As you know, you have dealt with various requests from business owners in the changing of ordinances. In fact, we just made an amendment a few months ago to an ordinance to prevent specific variances because it was looking as though it were going to be a never-ending flow. I'm very sympathetic to the business owners here today, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. This is my home as well and has been for 22 years. And I pray it will be for many more years. Some of these business owners I know at least indirectly, and several of them I consider to be very good friends of mine. So it's not an anti-business thing I'm coming from. It is a promise that I wanted to remind you of. And I guess what I'm hearing after listening to all of these lengthy prepared legal paper statements is that the magic bullet to all of our economic woes, the same thing that was presented during the wet-dry election, if we can just go wet, the county's economic problems will be over, and we'll have all of this tax revenue flowing in. But we know that liquor tax revenue goes through the state, and it's metered out according to formulas, and that the actual amount of money coming to our county because we have a certain amount of liquor sold is not going to change the economic status of our community. I heard 2 or 3 of these folks, these business owners say, you know, if you could just do this for us, it would save our business. We could employ more people. We could get a lot more business, more tax revenues, more. I doubt very seriously if amending this this ordinance is going to be the magic bullet that saves our county. This whole nation